Greetings, personal governors. This is your host, JP.WATKINS. Today's topic, this is going to be a tight topic right here. It's going to be a tough one because it's about building bridges rather than burning bridges. Now, if you've been following me, y'all have heard this topic before. And at the end of the day, I'm not saying something that you guys haven't heard before. Anything and everything that I say about on personal governance is something you done heard somebody say. It's something I may say it with my own flair and say it with my own phraseology, but this is not, it's not like I'm inventing a new element to the world. This is some new technology. No, this is just something that I'm passionate about because this is something that I see so many people doing, taking actions or inactions that's destroying their lives. And one of the things, and I've done it myself, one of the things that so many of us do is we burn bridges. We operate in red-hot emotion. We get mad and we want to tell people off. You know what? F you. Suck this. Kiss the pink parts of my black behind. You know how we do. Of course, we get a lot more colorful than that, right? But what I want to tell you today is, let's start taking some of that effort. Let's start taking some of that energy to build bridges. To build them. That's your social capital. So sometimes if somebody's being a jerk, maybe your supervisor being a jerk, maybe it's a cultural difference, because sometimes you may have a millennial that's your manager. You 47 and the millennial 27. And you don't like the way they handle you. You don't like the way they talk to you about something. This is an opportunity to sit down and have a conversation rather than just having an unspoken misunderstanding. This is an opportunity for you to show them, for you to lead, even though they have a higher position than you. What does that mean? You still got a lot of lived experience. This is an opportunity for you to build a bridge, where you sit down and say, hey, Mr. Smith, we need to sit down and talk. And I've had these kind of conversations. And I've had them on the flip end. I've had a conversation with one of my bosses where I told him, hey, look, you talk to me like that again, I'm going to lose a few things. I'm going to lose my temper, I'm going to lose my job, and if you get real reckless, I'm going to lose my freedom, because I'm going to hop on you. Because you're not going to talk to me like I'm 2 years old. You're not going to talk to me like you can whip me, because you can't. And then they get all pink in the face. And of course, I was younger then, I was a lot younger, I was a teenager. Okay. But now, being more mature, now it's time to say, hey, pull somebody say, hey, Mr. Manager, I need to talk to you for a minute. Hey, you know what? From man to man, I understand that you wanted me to do this correctly, but I don't feel like you approach me like a man. I don't feel like you address me like respectfully. I'm old enough to be your dad, and yeah, I understand you got a job to do, but your job is never to disrespect me. Your job is never to chop me down. It's always to correct me and say, hey, we got a job to do, let's do this. And I just think the way you came at me was inappropriate. And, I want to take this opportunity so that we can have good working relationships. Is it something that I need to do? Is it something that I can improve? See, that's building a bridge. Communication, conversation, that builds bridges. But that short-sightedness, that narrow-mindedness, that burns bridges. When we get mad, say, you know what, girl, I couldn't take it. I had to give him a piece of my mind. I cussed him out. And you may feel so good when you cussed him out. But now you done walked off your job. And you got responsibilities. And now you done been at that job for 2.5 years. And you just done cussed everybody out. Everybody in administration out. Anybody that could have gave you a job reference, that's it. So now, you got to start from scratch. You got a chance putting them down. Maybe they're going to give you a bad, they ask you, hey, would you hire him again? No, we wouldn't hire him again. So now you got to falsify your resume. It's a whole bunch of stuff. Why? If you're just willing to think. We have a mind. And I know some of us don't like to use it. And guess what? We all make mistakes. Even the brightest of people make mistakes. We all make mistakes. None of us make the best decisions all the time. But at some point in time, you got to say, you know what? Look, I done walked up 8 jobs in the last 6 months. At some point in time, you got to say, look, I got to look in the man or woman in the mirror. And that reflection is either being my enemy or my ally. So this is where we got to be willing to manage our mouths. This is where we got to be willing to govern our attitude and govern our actions so that we can build bridges. So that's not to say be a pushover. That's not to saying that, hey, you got to hold your tongue. It's just a lot of times approach is important. How you approach people, how you speak to people is important. When you want to get loud and messy and get to cussing and acting a fool and getting to talking about putting your hands on somebody, that's a whole nother thing right there. Especially with all these different laws and stuff they got now. Stand your ground, concealed and carry. So now you are inviting other issues that we don't need to invite. Just by being able to govern our moods, govern our mouths, govern our behavior. That's a powerful thing. When you can govern and control yourself, you don't have to try to worry about having control over other people. Control what you can do. Change what you can. Do what you can. Stop giving your power away. And let's start taking this time to build bridges. And you build bridges by building a better understanding. And you build that better understanding by holding an honest conversation with the source. Not getting on social media, blasting out, talking about your family ain't nothing, don't nobody support you, don't nobody love you, don't nobody got you. That's indirect. They don't know who you're talking about. And the people who do know you're talking about don't care about you getting on there, putting them on blast on social media. Talk to that person directly. Hit them up. Send them a direct message. Call them. And if possible, go face to face. Have that conversation. All right, that's my time for the day. In the meantime, persist, believe, and achieve.